pretty much anywhere else in the United States. So there's this tech corridor that's halfway between Salt Lake City and Provo that keeps adding more and more jobs. They need more engineers to staff those jobs, so the state continues to fund and increase funding to the department. We graduate more people, they want to stay in Utah and work in Utah. So not only a great place to get a degree, but also a great place to start a career. The reasons I came to Utah, I grew up in Washington, D.C., used to kind of hot, humid weather, snowy and ice in the winter and stuff like that. But coming out here to Utah has really been a life-changing experience, and I can't imagine ever moving back to the East Coast. The camping opportunities, outdoor climbing, whitewater rafting, camping, the skiing and snowboarding is phenomenal. If you've ever skied on like East Coast ice, we don't really have that out here. We have powder that is sometimes so deep you almost need a snorkel to breathe. So it's light snow that you just blast through, and it's great fun. We have on average, last year was a little bit low and snowfall. We have on average about 500 inches of snow in the mountains a year. One of the great things about Salt Lake City is if you don't like snow, oftentimes we'll get major dumps up in the mountains, and it'll either rain or only snow a few inches in the city. Only a couple times a year do we have major snowstorms that actually affect the city. So we kind of get the best of both worlds. Summers here are hot and dry, and winters, you know, we get lots of snow, but it's never really too cold because of, again, the dry weather. The University of Utah, we're the oldest university west of the Mississippi in the United States. Salt Lake City itself has about 200,000 people, but the metro area, which really encompasses kind of, you can't really tell where the city ends anymore, about 1.2 million people. 33,000 students at the University of Utah, about 8,000 of those are grad students, got more than 3,000 faculty. I think there's either 13 or 14 colleges, of which engineering is one of those colleges. The university is probably fairly famous for hosting the Winter Olympic Games. Our football stadium was the site of the opening and closing ceremonies for the 2002 Winter Games. And then a lot of the dorms that we've built were the Athlete Village, and they're now student housing. So pretty nice housing on campus. These are some stats on the department itself. So in mechanical engineering, we have 38 tenure track faculty and about 6 research track faculty. The research track faculty a little bit hard to keep track of. We've got 16 staff that do everything from administrative, purchasing, management, payroll, travel, to electronic staff and equipment staff that help run our labs. Right now, enrollment in our graduate program, we have 240 graduate students here. The big majority of those are PhD students. We have 145 PhD students and 95 master's students. Over the past 7 years, we've doubled enrollment in our PhD program, and a lot of that has to do with, you saw that growth in faculty, where we've added 21 faculty positions over the last 8 years as well. So when we get new faculty that come on, right now I think we have about 10 unfilled faculty lines that we're trying to staff. So we're continuing to grow. The building that we're in, we're out of space. We've had to move staff into essentially storage rooms and stuff like that. So we are really trying to grow the program fast. Last year, we awarded 64 master's degrees, 14 PhD degrees. We expended over $12 million in research expenditures, which is good for you because part of that funding helps pay RA or research assistant salary. And we spend just under $1 million a year in TA funding in the department. So if you're looking to get funded as a TA, that's good as well. Last time I looked, we were ranked 61st in US News and World Reports. We offer 2 major degrees, the PhD and the MS. The PhD, you can enter our PhD program either after completing your bachelor's degree or after completing your master's degree. Master's degree, we have a couple of options, well, 3 options actually. You can either complete your master's degree by doing a research-based thesis or by doing coursework only, which we call the non-thesis master's degree. We also offer a combined MS MBA, so the Eccles College of Business and the College of Engineering have gotten together to provide this dual degree here where you end up earning both your master's in science and engineering and your master's of business administration in 2.5 years. A couple of details about the PhD program. It is obviously a research degree. You can take it after the MS degree or your BS degree. And the MS degree, the thesis makes your degree a little bit stronger because you have that thesis to show that you can do research, but you can do it after obviously a non-thesis degree since we allow the bachelor's degree as well. If you've already completed a master's degree, you have 32 credit hours that you need to complete. So that's 18 hours of coursework. Most of our courses are 3 credit hours. So that's about 6 classes that you would take. And then a minimum of 14 dissertation hours as well. After a BS degree, the coursework goes up. So 39 credit hours or 13 courses, and then still the same 14 dissertation hours. The major milestones you'll reach in addition to completing your coursework: you'll pass a PhD qualifying exam in the 3rd semester of your program. You'll do a research proposal in the 5th semester of your program, and then dissertation defense at the end of your program. We also offer the master's degree, so 2 options there, the thesis and non-thesis. Both degrees require 30 credit hours. The difference is there's fewer courses with the thesis. You do 21 class hours, which is about 7 classes. And 9 thesis hours, where if you do the non-thesis, it's 30 credit hours of 10 courses. The MSMBA, this is primarily run through the College of Business, and they really like people to have work experience who are going to apply for this. One of the big bonuses to this program is every student who's accepted that program receives a stipend or kind of a fellowship between $5,000 and $85,000. All right, so they really filter people out based on work experience. It takes 72 credit hours to get both. You're taking about 19, 20 credit hours each semester. There are internships where you go out and work with, set up through the College of Business again, so it's usually a business entity for internship each summer. And then 9 hours, the advantage of it is 9 hours are shared between the 2 degrees. So I think it's 30 for us and 51 for them. And since you get to share 9, it's down to 72. If you're interested in that program, I can get you the connections in the College of Business to get you signed up for it. Okay, so those are the 2 degree programs that we offer in a nutshell. A lot of you are probably interested in doing PhD or a master's thesis. Finding a research advisor, somebody who you share a common interest with, can be a challenge. Okay, it involves sort of networking, getting to know our faculty, finding out about their research, really doing some introspective analysis and figuring out what you like to do as well. So with that said, we have 4 major areas. As you know, mechanical engineering, if your undergrad's in mechanical, it's a pretty broad degree. You get some computer science, some civil engineering, electronics, material science, in addition to all of your core mechanical engineering courses. So we've divided up into 4 areas of emphasis. We have a solid mechanics. So this is composites, fracture, finite elements. We have a large biomechanics group that's in there. If you're interested in the way either hard material like bones or soft material like muscles and vascular systems, all of that's handled in solid mechanics. The second area here is design, ergonomics, manufacturing, and systems. That pretty much explains everything that's in there. We have a big nano micro component that's in there and a large facility in a new building here on campus. Thermal science, fluid mechanics, and energy systems. So this is your thermodynamics, heat transfer, fluid mechanics type stuff. And then the last group, robotics and controls. If you're interested in like mechatronics, embedded mechatronics, electronics, robotics and controls might be the area for you. So how do you go about finding an advisor? I would recommend you start first with our website. So each of our faculty members has their own site within our website. If you go to a site and all of a sudden you're getting like a lot of 404, file not found errors, and the website's not working, or you notice that the last publication they had was in 2002, that might not be a good person to seek out. You want to find an advisor whose goals align with yours. Somebody who is actively seeking out funding, somebody who is, so they're getting grants, somebody who is publishing works because you need to publish to graduate, and somebody who's graduating students. So if you look on their site and you look at the last 5 years of the things they do, and you see they've graduated 5 PhD students and published 20 journal articles, and have won, $3 million of grants, that's a good lab to target. We also post on our website recent faculty awards. So if a faculty member receives an award from NSF or one of the other national funding agencies, you can find out who has recently received an award, how much is that award, and what is it for. Faculty who have recently received funding are generally the faculty that are trying to hire. So those sort of go hand in hand. If possible, you can come to campus and visit. We can set up lab tours and stuff like that. Things are a little bit weird now because of the virus situation, but that gives you an opportunity to meet and talk with other grads. This virtual symposium that we're holding right now is kind of going to give you that opportunity as well. If best, you reach out and you contact these faculty, set up like a Skype or a Zoom meeting with them so you can meet and interview and get to know about them. Yeah, it can be a hard process. If you're not getting answers from your emails, you can reach out to myself and Michelle. We can try and nudge faculty, but to be honest, if you're not getting answers to your emails to faculty, they're probably not hiring right now. In terms of financial aid, what we offer are in the forms of fellowship and scholarships. Some of these are from the College of Engineering, so we have different named awards from the College of Engineering, and then other ones are off the national awards that students come to us with. A large portion of our support to students comes in the form of research assistantship and teaching assistantship. So when you receive one of these assistantships, as long as you're being paid a stipend, we're not really sure where it's going to be next fall, but we're estimating a minimum stipend of $8,100 per semester. You get 100% waiver of tuition and fees from the university. If you're at 50% of that salary, you get 50% waiver, 75%, you get 75% waiver. The only thing that the students end up paying is there's a differential tuition that's $83 per credit hour, and that ends up being about $750 per semester. If you're on tuition benefit as 100% RA or 100% TA, you can also get subsidized insurance. So 80% of your annual premiums are covered there. You'll pay about $160 in the fall and about $260 in the spring, which covers summer. That includes medical as well as dental and health benefits. I think I blasted through everything. I'm on my last slide here, so I don't know if I went through kind of fast. Does anybody have any questions, or is there anything in the chat that I can answer, Joy?
Nothing in the chat. Does anyone want to unmute and ask any questions?
I had a question.
Sure.
Could you talk a little bit about the coursework for the master's program?
Thesis or non-thesis?
I guess both of them. They both include at least, what was that, 21 credits of coursework?
21 for the thesis and 30 for the non-thesis. So we have several specialized tracks that will sort of guide you through. If you're interested in robotics and controls, we have a track that'll tell you in your first semester you should take Introduction to Robotics, Introduction to Controls, stuff like that, and then give you some options into your second year. There are also tracks for design, ergonomics, manufacturing. We have a new data science track that's under our solid mechanics. Otherwise, if you opt not to go with one of these specialized tracks, what we look for is that you take about half of your classes in one of these core areas, so you really specialize in a certain aspect of it. And then the other 15 or the other half of your credits can be in any math, science, or engineering. So let's say you find civil engineering has some project management class that you want to take, or the College of Engineering offers business law. There's lots of different options that you can take. Does that answer your question there?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and if you're doing research, obviously you're going to work with your research advisor to sort of custom fit your program to the research you're going to be doing in that lab, right? If you're doing robotics and controls, nobody's going to make you take intermediate heat transfer or something like that. All right. Anything else?
In the follow-up email, I'll send out some sample lists of classes that we offer so you can get an idea.
Yeah, we work on a every other year schedule. So our core classes are taught every fall or every spring, and then our sort of elective special topics are taught every other fall or every other spring. If you go back and look, what we're offering this fall is what we're going to offer in fall of 2022 pretty much.
Is there any way I could access that chart for each emphasis or each area? Or do I need to talk to you about it through an email or something?
All of our program stuff, if you look on our website under current students, like program information, you can find all of the forms for this. It'll also give you a sort of crosswalk of when the courses are offered and stuff within each area.
So I am a current mechanical engineering student at the U right now. So I guess the reason I'm asking this is that I can see all the tech electives, and I know those classes are technically the graduate classes. What if, for example, I'm interested in solid mechanics, but I already took some of the classes that are offered for solid mechanics already? So
you took them as like tech electives?
Yes, as an undergrad.
Yeah. You won't be able to repeat those courses as a grad. Obviously, that would be a waste of your time.
Right.
But if you've already taken like intro to blah, 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 you would now be ready for intermediate blah, 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 or advanced, right? So I don't know if I'm exactly answering what you're trying to ask.
So does it, in a way, I guess, cover that credit that I already taken, or do I need to substitute for it?
Yes, if you've already taken, like, let's say you're doing robotics as a classic example, and for your tech electives, you took classical controls and introduction to robotics, you would be ready to start right away with robot control or state space control or whatever you wanted to do. Yeah.
So I guess in that regard, I don't have to take, for example, the 30 credit hours or the 21 credit hours. I take less. Is that what you're saying?
No. The university still requires you to get to those credit limits. You would fill that with more advanced topics then, or more diversified topics. So yeah, if you have credit that you did not use for your undergraduate degree, so you're transferring to us with some unused credit, or you took extra tech electives, those you can absolutely transfer a maximum of 6 hours to your grad degree.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Question in the chat. Do you have time for one more question?
Yeah, let's do one more, and then I'm going to throw it over to Michelle.
Then we'll go to Michelle. Yeah. She asking, are you admitted to the department or to work with a certain faculty, or are there rotations?
If you are doing a PhD, you have to get your you have to match with an advisor. So yeah, that you have to have a funded offer from a faculty in order to get admitted to our PhD program. Admittance to the master's program is either based on a faculty member saying, I want this student, or it's based on your GPA, GRE, letters of recommendation, all of that. Okay. Since we've only got a few minutes left, I want to throw this over to Michelle and have her go through how to apply.